Let's go ahead now and build out the content slides as well as add some content placeholders for each of the specific job roles. So in the last example, all we did was configure the slide masters 3 times, 3 different slide masters, 1 for each of the job roles. Now we want to go ahead and start building out our elements. Now this first slide is going to be the beginning of the course where the learner chooses the job path that closest aligns to what they're currently doing. So I'm going to select these 3 icons. And who are you? So that's my title. And these are just the icons that I came up with. Could be text that you're working with, could be people that you're selecting as well. So now I just want to go ahead and add a quick text box for each of them. And we just quickly put in our text boxes for each of those. So this is the start screen essentially. The learner will select each a specific icon for their job role, and then we'll they'll take them into the content path. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this 3 times. So I'm going to select the slide, Control D, 3 times to make duplicates. Now this first example, or one of these 3, can be the other manager. Now the other manager is going to work off this grid background, so we can leave one of these alone. But we do want to change the other 2 for the appropriate background theme that we set up. And I'm just going to minimize these a little bit so you can see the change. I think it kind of gets off the slide. I'm going to right click on slide 3, choose layout, and it looks like it's coming off the slide here, but essentially, there we go. So I can select one of the 2, right? So this would be the project management, or actually it would be the application. So set that slide, configure it. I'll right click right here, layout, and we'll change this one to the project manager. So we just customize the specific slide based on the slide master we created earlier. So I'm going to quickly replace each of these graphics just to configure it. So change picture, that's project manager. And we'll come over here to the application. And we'll change this one from who are you to the other manager. So we're just setting up our titles right here. And we'll go ahead now and then just bring in our additional elements. So at this point, I can create for other manager. We'll keep that up there. The rest of this can be deleted. And we'll bring him in. And we're just trying to create initial start screens. These would be the actual first screen the user sees after clicking one of the choices. So we'll come over here, an application, and then which our application is this one. And then project manager, we'll keep that and delete these icons. And again, we could easily just have worked with a single theme for the background. That would easily work as well. In this case, since we wanted to customize the course, I thought 3 different themes for each of the job roles would be appropriate. So we've set up our 3 slides here. Now we want to jump in here real quick in the outline menu and name each of these. And the reason we want to name each of these is that when we add the hyperlinks later, it'll be a lot easier to identify which slide we want to link to. Now you'll also notice that on the slide as I type out these titles, the title name is showing up right here. And that's something we can adjust in the slide master. And I didn't change that, so we'll jump in here, view slide master, because I wanted you to see how that works. Because these titles are right here and part of the slide, anything I type in the outline menu is going to display on the slide level. It's possible that you do want to work with that, in which case you would configure the fonts in the type the way you'd like them to appear. I don't want to use them in this example, so I'm just going to move them up. Now check this out. When I get back over here, they've moved up here for each of the titles. So it's a nice way to get the labels for the slides without having the actual text on the slide. So we've set up our slides, and of course we can configure each of these as much or as little as we want. But the idea was just to get 3 start screens right here. I'm going to go ahead now and just duplicate each of these, say 2 times. I just want to create the secondary content slides for these. And I'll just do it for each of them. And then the only other thing I'll do is I'll go in there and I'll name each of these separate because I don't want to have them all have the same name. So I just might call this one 2, 3. I'm not going to link to these specific slides. I'm only going to link to the start slide for each, but I do want to give them a unique name. Okay, so we've set up our home page, our start screen for the course. We have our start screen now for each of the individual content or job roles, and then we have 2 content placeholders for each subsequent, the subsequent slides for each of the job roles. In the next example, we'll go ahead and add the navigation icons to the slide master and the slide level.